Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are breaking down exactly how to get a Nova Scotia Provincial nomination through the Labour Market Priority stream. I'll walk you step by step how this stream works, whether you need to submit an expression of interest, what CRS or language scores matter, which occupations are eligible, whether you need ties with Nova Scotia, and how to set up your Express Entry profile so Nova Scotia can find you. Let's start. For the Nova Scotia Labour Market Priority stream, like Alberta and Saskatchewan, you do not need to submit a separate application or expression of interest to the province. You cannot apply directly to Nova Scotia under this stream. Instead, you must first create an Express Entry profile under one of the three federal programs: Federal Skilled Worker Program, Federal Skilled Trades Program, or Canadian Experience Class. While creating your profile, indicate Nova Scotia as one of the provinces you are interested in. Nova Scotia will scan the Express Entry pool, and if you meet their labour market needs, may send a letter of interest to your Federal Express Entry profile. You do not need family ties or other connections to Nova Scotia to be considered. The province is mainly looking for candidates who match its current labour market priorities, not just those already connected to the province. There is no fixed or permanent occupation list for this stream. Nova Scotia issues targeted draws from the Express Entry pool whenever it needs workers in specific areas. Each draw specifies the occupations or criteria being prioritized. In the past, candidates with experience in the following occupations have been invited: early childhood educators and assistants, registered nurses and licensed practical nurses, financial auditors and accountants, social workers, programmers and interactive media developers. Looking at past draws gives an idea of what Nova Scotia has historically prioritized. To know if your occupation is in demand, you must monitor Nova Scotia Nominee Program draw updates. To apply under the Labour Market Priority stream, you need to create an Express Entry profile under one of the three federal Express Entry programs and explicitly state your interest in moving to Nova Scotia. This is important because Nova Scotia focuses on candidates who have shown interest in the province. While Nova Scotia may have its own language expectations for certain occupations, you must meet the Federal Express Entry Program's minimum language requirements to enter the Federal Express Entry pool. For Federal Skilled Worker Program, you need IELTS score of 6 in all 4 skills. If your score in any skill is below 6, you cannot create an Express Entry profile and therefore cannot be considered by Nova Scotia. Under Canadian Experience Class, for jobs classified under NOCB, IELTS score of approximately 5 to 5.5 is considered sufficient. For jobs classified under NOC 0 or A, a minimum IELTS score of 6 in each skill is required. For Federal Skilled Trades Program, a minimum IELTS score of 5 in speaking and listening and 4 in reading and writing is required. Higher IELTS score can enhance your CRS score and improve your chances of receiving a letter of interest. You must have your foreign education assessed through WIS or another recognized educational credential assessment body if applying under the Federal Skilled Worker Program. For the Canadian Experience Class or Federal Skilled Trades Program, educational credential assessment report is not required. Nova Scotia scans the Federal Express Entry pool to identify candidates who meet the criteria for a draw and sends a letter of interest through the Federal Express Entry system. Once you receive a letter of interest, you have 30 calendar days to submit your application via the Nova Scotia Nominee Program online service, which is Nova Scotia's official portal for provincial nomination applications. Missing this deadline means you need to wait for another draw. On the Nova Scotia Nominee Program portal, you typically need to upload passport, which is your identity and travel document, language test results, IELTS, CELPEP, or TEF, educational credential assessment report, which is required under Federal Skilled Worker Program, proof of work experience and resume. Proof of settlement funds are required for Federal Skilled Worker Program, but not required for Canadian Experience class, and for Federal Skilled Trades Program only if you do not have a valid Canadian job offer. You may also be required to submit additional documents as outlined in your letter of interest. Additional documents can include a valid job offer, depending on the specific criteria of the draw. While most invitations issued under the Labour Market Priority Stream do not require a job offer, there are occasional targeted draws where having one is necessary to qualify. It's important to carefully review the details of your letter of interest to ensure you meet all the requirements for that invitation. You also need to provide your Express Entry profile number so Nova Scotia can verify your eligibility and link the provincial nomination to your Express Entry account automatically. Without Express Entry profile number, the 600 CRS points cannot be added to your Express Entry profile. After Nova Scotia approves your application, you will receive a provincial nomination certificate. You must accept the nomination in the Nova Scotia Nominee Program portal before it can link the provincial nomination to your Express Entry account. Once accepted, the 600 CRS points are automatically added to your Express Entry profile, which almost guarantees an invitation to apply for permanent residence in the next Federal Express Entry draw. There is no fixed CRS score that Nova Scotia uses to issue letter of interest. In recent draws, candidates with CRS score as low as 345 have received letter of interests. The province focuses on specific occupations and skills rather than CRS points alone, so even candidates below typical federal cutoffs can be invited if they meet Nova Scotia's labour needs. Keep in mind, Nova Scotia draws are issued periodically and unpredictably, so it's important to keep your profile up to date and be ready to respond quickly. Also, receiving a letter of interest and provincial nomination does not automatically grant PR. You must still complete the federal PR application through IRCC after accepting the nomination. And that's a complete breakdown of how the Nova Scotia Labour Market Priorities Stream works. Remember, you do not need family ties or a job offer. What matters most is meeting Nova Scotia's labour market priorities and having a strong Express Entry profile. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates on Canadian immigration programs. Drop a comment if you have any questions or want me to cover another provincial nomination stream. Thanks for watching and good luck with your Nova Scotia application.